Chapter 1, Introduction, The Arrival. The eerie clamor of a busy intake area surrounds us. The metallic clang of steel doors, the scuffed shuffle of boots on cold concrete, and the murmurs of nervous voices fill the air. "My name is Marcus," he begins, his voice a thread woven through the chaos. The first day felt like stepping into a nightmare. He recounts the throbbing fear in his chest, the weight of uncertainty pressing down. As he waits in the sterile processing room, Marcus reflects on the stark reality of his new existence. Surrounded by strangers yet enveloped in an overwhelming sense of isolation. He details the countless thoughts racing through his mind. Will I survive here? Who can I trust? The raw emotion in his narrative paints a vivid picture of adaptation and resilience, revealing the instinctual drive to forge a space of belonging within these suffocating walls. Behind the fear lies the call for survival, a resonant echo that will guide him throughout his journey. Chapter 2. The Bonds We Forge. As the sun breaks through the lonely prison walls, the sounds of laughter and heated discussions flit through the air, echoing in the yard where inmates gather. Elena, a former teacher serving time for a crime of passion, takes center stage in this chapter. She reflects on the unexpected friendships formed amidst the starkness of incarceration. "Here I found my family," Elena explains, her voice steady yet tinged with emotion. She recounts heartwarming moments spent sharing meals and stories, revealing how they support each other through the daily struggles of prison life. The laughter around the table mixes with shared tears, creating a unique bond that transcends their pasts. In the backdrop, the clinking of plastic utensils, muffled conversations, and distant shouts create a tapestry of sound that emphasizes the importance of human connection. In this world behind bars, camaraderie becomes a lifeline, offering solace and strength in their shared journey. Chapter 3, Reflections in Solitude. Soundscape, the hollow echo of footsteps reverberating through a dimly lit cell block, punctuated by the distant sound of a metal door slamming shut. The atmosphere is heavy with silence, broken only by the soft sighs of Jamal. "In here, silence can be deafening," Jamal begins, his voice resonating in the emptiness. "Days blend into nights, and all you have are your thoughts. Sometimes they feel like ghosts haunting me." He recalls his prolonged stint in solitary confinement, a punishment that stripped away the noise of life and forced him to confront his darkest fears. "The walls close in, and despair grips you, but in that stillness, I found a flicker of clarity. I learned to confront my demons and rediscover my sense of self." As he speaks, the echoes grow softer, giving way to a moment of reflection. The sound of a clock ticking emphasizes the passage of time, a reminder that redemption can emerge from the depths of isolation. Chapter 4, Flashbacks and Regrets. In the quiet confines of her cell, Sophia takes listeners on a poignant journey through her memories, painting a vivid contrast between her vibrant past and somber present. The sounds of the bustling city, a distant subway rumble, and laughter from street vendors fill the background, evoking the rich tapestry of life she once enjoyed. As she recalls moments of joy like art shows and carefree evenings with friends, the sharp edges of regret begin to surface. "I used to paint with passion, feeling alive," she confesses, her voice tinged with longing. "Now, every stroke of my pencil is a reminder of what I've lost." Listeners can feel the weight of her guilt and the haunting nature of her choices, as Sophia's artistry serves as both an escape and a mirror, reflecting her struggle for self-forgiveness. The chapter closes with the soft sound of her pencil against paper, a glimmer of hope amid the shadows of regret. Chapter 5, The Fight for Change. The low murmur of a group therapy session mixes with the occasional tapping of pens on paper and the rustle of uniforms. David, a reformed ex-gang leader, takes center stage, his voice steady yet filled with passion. "When I first stepped into this place, I was just a kid with a reputation. But sitting here, I see the potential in these younger guys. I've been where they are, lost and looking for power in all the wrong places. Now I'm focused on helping them find their own paths." Background. As David shares his experiences, the sounds of laughter and supportive affirmations from his peers intertwine with his narrative. He talks about organizing mentorship programs, teaching skills that extend beyond the prison walls, igniting hope in those who feel trapped. Conclusion. Every time I see one of them make a choice for change, it reinforces that redemption is real, not just a dream. The sound fades out, leaving a lingering sense of possibility. Chapter 6. Moments of Grace. As the echoes of daily life fade into a more profound silence, the voices of inmates rise, revealing unexpected acts of kindness that illuminate the darkness of prison life. Teresa, a soft-spoken woman, shares a poignant memory of a fellow inmate who, despite her own struggles, took the time to teach her how to read. The appreciation in Teresa's voice reflects the power of compassion to transcend the harsh environment around them. The sounds of a choir practicing for an upcoming talent show fill the background, intertwining with laughter and shared stories of support. These moments of grace shine brightly against the backdrop of confinement, suggesting that even within concrete walls, humanity can thrive. Each story of kindness, whether a simple gesture or a profound impact, becomes a thread in the tapestry of their shared experience, cultivating hope and connection in a place often defined by despair. Chapter 7. Lessons from the Past. As Angel, an inmate with a history of theft, takes a deep breath, the distant sounds of children laughing echo in her memory, transporting her to the sunlit streets of her childhood neighborhood. She reflects on the harrowing experiences that shaped her journey, growing up in a fractured home where survival often meant making difficult choices. Every decision I made was rooted in the fear of not having enough, she narrates, her voice tinged with both regret and understanding. The ambient sounds of her old neighborhood, a symphony of life and innocence, serve as a stark contrast to her current confines. Yet, Angel talks about the power of introspection. In these concrete walls, she learns to confront her past and recognizes the strength to break the cycle. With each memory shared, listeners can feel her resolve to redefine her future, guided by the lessons learned in a life that, despite its scars, holds the promise of transformation. Chapter 8. Addiction and Recovery. In the dim light of a shared room, Keith leans against the cold wall, his voice tinged with remorse and resolve. He shares his harrowing journey through addiction, the highs that once gripped him and the lows that left him powerless. The sounds of a support group meeting fill the background, hushed voices of fellow inmates speaking their truths, punctuated by the occasional clink of metal chairs. I was lost, Keith admits, recalling the nights spent chasing a fleeting euphoria, only to awaken in despair. But prison, he explains, has become an unexpected sanctuary for change. The structure, the programs, and the newfound friendships have fostered a fragile hope within him. The supportive chorus of inmates who understand the struggle echoes in his words. As he concludes, the sounds of heartfelt affirmations from his peers reinforce his belief. Recovery is possible, and he's determined to reclaim his life, one day at a time. Chapter 9. Family Ties Behind Bars. In this poignant chapter, Nina, a mother serving a 5-year sentence for drug-related offenses, opens up about the profound impact her incarceration has had on her children. The sound of a prison phone ringing echoes through the background as she recounts the heart-wrenching conversations with her young son and daughter, who are learning to navigate life without her daily presence. I try to call them as often as I can, she says, her voice trembling slightly. But it's hard for them to understand why Mommy isn't there. The muffled sounds of kids laughing and playing outside paint a vivid contrast to her stark reality. Nina expresses her determination to be a better mother upon her release, sharing plans for family reunions filled with love and stability. As she speaks, the rhythmic tapping of pen on paper reveals the letters she writes to her children, each a thread in the fabric of their connection, helping to bridge the gap created by her absence. Chapter 10. The Pursuit of Knowledge. In the dimly lit classroom of the prison, Ravi, a lifelong learner, shares his journey of discovery amid confinement. His voice carries a sense of purpose as he recounts how education became his lifeline, his beacon of hope. The sound of pages turning and pencils scratching fills the air, punctuated by a distant prison announcement echoing through the halls. Ravi reflects on his first lesson, the thrill of engaging with ideas he had never encountered before. He describes the camaraderie formed with fellow inmates as they navigate challenging subjects together, bridging divides that once seemed insurmountable. In a setting where despair often reigns, he finds strength in shared learning and mutual support. I've learned that knowledge isn't just power, it's freedom, he says, his voice imbued with conviction. As the chapter concludes, the sounds of a bell ringing for class dismissal resonate, symbolizing a dawning hope that education offers a second chance at life beyond the prison walls. Chapter 11, Art as Expression. In this poignant chapter, Tanya, a sculptor serving time for a crime of passion, reflects on how art has become her refuge within the prison walls. The rhythmic sounds of chiseling and the squish of clay fill the background as she describes the cathartic process of molding raw materials into expressive forms. Every piece I create tells a story, Tanya shares, her voice rich with emotion. It's a way for me to process my pain, my regrets, and my hopes. She recounts the moment she first picked up a tool in the prison art program, revealing a connection to her past, an escape from the harshness of her reality. Listeners can almost visualize her fingers dancing over the clay, tapping into a wellspring of creativity that offers solace and a new identity. In prison, where humanity often feels stripped away, Tanya's art symbolizes resilience and the unbroken spirit of self-expression. Chapter 12, Navigating Conflict. In the unforgiving world behind prison walls, conflict is an ever-present reality. Xavier, a former gang member, reflects on his tumultuous journey, marked by violence and strife. He shares a haunting tale of a confrontation that escalated dangerously, a moment that could have defined his identity. As he narrates, the sound of raised voices morphs into a cacophony of tension, illustrating the chaotic atmosphere of the yard during a fight. Yet, Xavier reveals a pivotal turning point, seeking resolution rather than retaliation. With the help of a mentor, he learned to communicate and de-escalate conflicts through dialogue. Ambient sounds of deep breaths and calming words contrast sharply with earlier chaos, highlighting the power of understanding. He concludes by emphasizing that true strength lies not in dominance, but in compassion, demonstrating that navigating conflict can lead to redemption and personal growth, even in the harshest environments. Chapter 13, Preparing for Release. As the days draw closer to his release date, Oliver sits in the small common area of the prison, reflecting on his turbulent journey. The steel walls that have housed him feel simultaneously comforting and confining. He expresses a mix of trepidation and excitement, highlighting the fears of reintegration into a world that has moved on without him. The sounds of distant chatter and metal clanging echo throughout the room, reminding him of the stark contrast between prison life and freedom. Oliver recounts a poignant conversation with a mentor who reminds him of the importance of building connections outside, friends, family, and support groups. He emphasizes the significance of these relationships as lifelines in navigating the turbulent waters of post-incarceration life. As the ominous sound of heavy gates opening resonates in his mind, he prepares himself, not just for freedom, but for the daunting responsibility of crafting a new narrative filled with hope and opportunity.